Hello and welcome to another Minecraft Let's Play with Pixelmon and Biomes Plenty. And here we go. This is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, so we're doing it at speed today. What we're going to do is try and get some villagers into our infinite villager spawner. Maybe collect some sand afterwards as well. So let's get to it. Now, if experience has taught me anything, it is that villagers are a pain in the tuchus to get them where you want them. So that's majority of why this episode is going to take so long. First thing we're going to do is actually make some doors to place in a nearby village just to make sure we don't run out of villagers. And you can see me using Pidgeot here to fly to the top of trees to cut down. A little bit of a pro tip there, even if you're not using Biomes Plenty, you can just hop right onto, jungle trees. Very nice. So yes. So there is another village up over here. This is one of our other kind of starting city or starting towns once we actually get the place set up. But for now, we're just going to do a bit of a square. Let's see. As you can see, these houses are being added slightly. Part of the reason half of those houses worked on this side was because of the blocks in front of them. But I'm going to go through, add a roof, and that makes sure that all of them count as villages. We need to get this tree out of the way because it's annoying. Okay, and what we're actually going to do to get the villages over there is to make a canal that constantly leads into itself. The trick here is on the 8th block of water after it's been flowing, so the very last block of water, right above that on the block above, place a sign, and just beyond it, on the same level as the water, place another sign. Then what you can do is you put water in that space, and that last block, or the last water you had of the first, will lead up into the new water block. And of course, with the signs, the new water block won't pour backwards, so it'll apply constant pressure moving forward. However, that does take quite a lot of dirt. Theoretically, any solid block would work, but let's not do anything that would take forever to take down. Yes, we needed our buckets over here. And let's just get a little more food to last us throughout this recording. Okay, and let's put the first batch of water in. If these villagers will get out of the way. Move. There we go. So as you can see, 2 signs on either side of the last block, and then you place a new water source in that corner that was created. So of course, for the water to flow, you'll need the bottom layer and then a layer of dirt or whatnot on the next layer up at the same level as the water to keep it contained. The trouble, of course, with that is that the villagers will just jump right out. Let's see, what are we doing now? Yes. One thing I wanted to go ahead and get out of the way first is, as I mentioned, I wanted that door that you saw over by where our bed is to be the first village in this area. That way, as we create other villages around, this one will take priority. So I'm just going to fill out this house. Tiniest little house you could imagine. And that way, once we get a villager over here, it'll pick up that house first. And there we go. So yes, as I was saying, not only do we need this layer of blocks to keep the water contained, we also need the layer higher to prevent the villagers from jumping out in general. And then furthermore, on the spaces where the water gets renewed, we need even higher walls, just again to prevent the villagers from jumping out. As you can see here, you can jump right out. The other secret about making this canal system is you don't want to end the last block of water at the corner because it will just push the villagers into the wall of the corner as opposed to pushing them off to the side. So you always want to count it enough or count it properly to prevent that occurrence. So you always want some stream going around every corners. The higher water source can be placed in a corner, in the actual corner block with the previous water leading straight to it. And I fell down. Okay, good. Okay, and since we need a lot more dirt, we're going to go ahead and also start digging out the spawning zone for the iron golems. And what it is from the pit, there should be eight blocks to the wall. And yeah. Another way to measure that is if you put water, what we're going to end up doing is putting water source blocks at the wall, almost all around it, and they will end right at the block before the pit, and therefore there won't be any water falling down into the lava. So yeah, right now you see me just kind of shoveling out the northwestern quadrant of this spawning zone. And let's see if that's enough dirt. Now, of course, at speed, it doesn't quite look like I'm paying too much attention, but as we are going, or as I am doing all this, I am counting each block I place down to make sure the last water doesn't end up on one of these corners as I zigzag towards the city. And we have a boss Sawaddle. Defeated it. And looks like we got a leaf stone and a moonball. You can tell they're boss Pixelmon because their names will be in a different color, and it will not show what level they are, but they're usually pretty high level, even for the weaker Pokemon, if you will. And now what you see me doing is going ahead and making the water through the canal just to make sure I did count everything correctly. And of course I need more signs. It takes a lot of signs to do these canals. Now, as you can see, this new water source block will be in a corner, but that's okay. It's just that the last block of water cannot be in the corner. And now you see me building up the walls and running out of dirt. So off we are to make the northeast quadrant. So again, the perimeter we have around that hole does count as the first block when we're counting outwards. And then start counting at 2, 3, 4, etc. up till 8. And then just square it off. Okay, back to these walls. Okay, that should just about do it. So let's see if we, whoops. Avisor feito. Okay, let's see if we can't push a villager in and see how it fares. Right about here is where the previous village gives out. That's why it took so long for the villager to move. If you're careful not to fall into your own pit, which I know all of you are, you can hop in the canal as you see me doing and push the villagers along. They'll speed it up. It's not necessary, they will eventually get to where they're going. So if you have something else going on and you just want to set up some villagers to go or move from point A to point B, you just get them in the canal and then you go do whatever it is you need to do. Now at this point you can see that we have a village here. I put a couple blocks in front of the doors so zombies won't kill it. And now we have our first village of the city. Huzzah! And this is the drop shaft I want them to fall into. So we're just going to connect these two. And to do that, we need to go around this tree. Now, there is a reason I'm leaving the tree there, is for the moment I think we can go ahead and leave it there post-city. So I don't really want to destroy this one quite yet until we know what the city is going to look like. I think a little bit of a yard for the shipyard would be, or the docks, or whatever we'll call it, will be a nice feature. So yes, we're just finishing off this northern hemisphere of the spawner of Tango Tech's Iron Foundry. And remember, don't even try this in 1.8 because the whole village chaining thing has been nerfed. So the Iron Foundry is much less useful, or at least you don't need to put in this much work to get the maximum efficiency, because maximum efficiency has gone down a lot. Did anybody else get dizzy in that section? Okay. Again, anytime you're having villagers fall, you don't really want them to fall within water because they'll just try and float up to the top. So you want the last section to be right before the hole. So they'll get pushed into the hole, but no water will be flowing down into the hole. And now we try and get villagers to fall down into the village. Safely. So they're going to fall into that little bit of water and safely just sit there. And we only want one down there. We only have the 6 doors, so it can hold 2, or that little tiny village can hold 2 villagers. If we have one down there, then that means breeding will be on to try and create more villagers. The other part of this is if the villagers are too high, they might still detect that they're in the village, but the village won't detect that they belong to it. And that's the whole secret of this infinite villager spawner, is that we'll have villagers on that top level that you can see from level 10, and that's where all the breeding is going to take place. And there's going to be one villager down by the doors, making sure those doors count as a village. And so the upper villagers won't realize that they're, or won't count as part of the village total. So breeding will just be always on for them. And they'll keep trying to breed because so far there's only one villager in the actual village, and there can be 2. And that is the secret. Again, in 1.8, they've changed a lot of things, especially including how villagers like to breed. So all this is for the 1.7 worlds only. And there he goes. Okay. Let's take a quick nap here, and then we'll go and make sure he's set up properly. So there we are. And now we've dropped him down in. We just replace some of this stone. Oops. Now what we want to do is place some water up there. That's where the majority of our villagers will be. And so we need to get a few more villagers down there. We do want a decent amount. Okay, priest. And doctor, or whatever you're called. what I'm doing right here is just locking 2 villagers in a house over here just so that nothing happens to them, and if all the other villagers are gone, they can still breed and create a few more. Let's not go through the trouble of getting villagers to our infinite villager spawner only to have to bring some back all the way over here to repopulate the town. That would just be highly annoying. Yes, get over into my pit. Why does that sound worse than I thought it was going to? Okay. Let's see how these villagers are doing. There they are. Let's see if we can't help this villager along. Whoops. And in I go. Okay. And in I go again. Oh well. Okay. So while they're doing their thing, let's get some more sand. I'm just going to get 3 shovels worth, basically. I'm going to try and preserve the side of this mountain. That's why I'm not cutting all the way to the wall and making it too high. I'm leaving at least a 1 block step between each level. I'll just keep it looking nice as we slowly erode this mountain away. And there we go. That was our last shovel. So yes, the next thing we're going to be working on building is our oops, is the chute to get villagers to rise up. If I don't, if I actually stop drowning out all my redstone, okay. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is there's going to be two things of water and then one sign. And then we hop back down to the bottom level, grab some more water, rise up to the top, place a sign, some glass, and two more buckets of water. Lather, rinse, and repeat until we get to the surface. And we're almost there. Yay! And the surface. So that's where the villagers will come up. There'll be a bit of a exit ramp or a little exit room where we can bring them to wherever we need them. So, now that we've flooded these again, let's see. Now we need to access the sky, and of course, in doing so, oops, I've managed to let a couple of the villagers escape. And this is why an actor never works with villagers. Wait, that's not quite right. And yeah. Okay, pretty much only way to salvage this is to just go ahead and get brand new villagers. Not the most ideal situation, but there you go. Now there are, of course, these guys who are up here. Not entirely sure how they got here, but that's okay. We can use them to repopulate or to be the populating group. If they'll just go where I tell them to. No. Now, problem why he moved away is because he got too far away from the other door we had. So now I just created a new house in the city, only temporary, so that he won't be too far away. And of course, he falls off the platform. Perfect. And let's get this guy. And down he goes. And as you can see, we have 2 in there now. Okay. Oh, perfect. Didn't ruin anything. And thank you for watching another Minecraft Let's Play with Pixelmon and Biomes O Plenty. We will see you next time.